Hello, welcome to another hour of Devastation draft. Here we have a lot of split cards, neither of which I think is actually the pick. So Reason to Believe I just don't even think is very playable unless you have like a lot of huge fatties to cheat into play. Claim to Fame maybe is good, I've never played with it, but just seems like it's only has a high upside if you have a lot of premium 2-drops. Consigned to Oblivion is great, but I think a little more costly than Unsummon, and it is also 2 colors, so you don't really want to take it early. So I think the cards that I'm considering here are between Kenra Scrapper and Unquenchable Thirst. And I think I'm just going to take the Thirst. I think this is probably one of the best commons in the format. It's 2 mana, kill any creature if you have a desert. And also, it gets around Eternalize and Embalm because it doesn't actually kill the creature, but it leaves it in play. So I think it's just very strong and definitely happy to take it. And just note that I'm passing a good red card and some good green. Okay, so following that up we have Ipnu Riverlet, which goes quite well with the Thirst, although I think worse than just the Cycling Deserts because very unlikely you're going to be milling your opponent out. Unraveling Mummy is quite good. And then we just have some overall decent blue drops in Spellweaver Eternal and Strategic Planning. So I don't think I'm going to take a multicolored card that's not in my colors over, any other good card. And I actually am quite impressed with Spellweaver Eternal. It's a zombie for whenever that synergy matters. Prowess is quite good in like a blue or blue-red spells deck. And Afflict 2 means it at the very least gets in for 2 damage. So I think I like that over the Ipnu Riverlet. But again, I think it's a bit close. And I think this Spellweaver is enough better than the Strategic Planning to merit taking. So starting out with some 2 decent blue drops. And wow, do we have a lot of green in this pack. Ambuscade is quite good. Devotee of Strength has a place. I think 3 mana 3/2 it's kind of expensive, but it can take over a late game. Desert of the Mindful is exactly what we want, but I think we're just going to take another Unquenchable Thirst. This helps us cut blue really hard, and I think Unquenchable Thirst is great. We are passing some deserts, but I think this card is better, and you can get deserts later. We just need to prioritize them. So passing a lot of green, so we're kind of avoiding that fight. And we haven't passed much or any good blue, so pretty excited about this pick. And here we go. So now we have a desert. Very easy pickup. Goes well with the Thirsts. Missing out on Appeal to Authority, which I think is quite good, but obviously not in our colors. Imaginary Threats, which I've never played with. I think it's one of those cards that's quite good if you're setting up for like a very long board state. So if your opponent's trying to like dirtle around and so are you, it could be good siding in. I don't know if it's worth starting because blue decks in general aren't very aggressive. Strategic Planning we can pick up more of, but this desert is an excellent pickup to go with our Unquenchable Thirsts. And I think I'll just take as many of these as I can get. Just 2 mana kill any creature is so powerful. Okay, so here we have a pretty late Accursed Horde. Actually, it's a very late Accursed Horde. Oketra's Avenger, which I think is just okay. It is a very strong common. And then Strategic Planning and Tragic Lesson, both good cards. I actually kind of like Tragic Lesson more. It is card advantage, goes well with deserts. And given that, these blue and these black and Oketra's Avenger I think is quite good. But, well actually, let's see. That's a very late Oketra's Avenger. I guess the question is, do I just want to stay on color and take a pretty okay blue card? I think the answer is yes, but I will keep a note that white and black might be quite open. But I think this is a card that I'm like almost for sure going to play. And I like having maybe one of these in a deck, 1 or 2. Goes very well in the blue-red spells deck. And I think, yeah, glad I stayed with blue. I can just take another Spellweaver Eternal. This card is very good. Having 2 of them, with a bunch of spells, you can just hit really hard and then your opponent just can't block. Missing out on Countervailing Winds, which we can get later. So yeah, definitely a good start. Mono blue, haven't passed much good blue, so even in pack 2 we'll probably get some good picks. Unless our opponent or the person to our left counter drafts us and starts taking blue in pack 2. But hopefully that's not the case and we can just take up all this blue. Double Unquenchable Thirst, double Spellweaver. I really like this start. Okay, in this pack, Dagger of the Worthy is okay. Dunes of the Dead, pretty medium. If you can get deserts to sacrifice it, it's actually okay, because you can get some zombies. These are some late, like, Mummy Paramount, Ken Returnals. But I might just want another strategic planning. Goes well with the Spellweaver Returnals and helps me filter through my deck. And again, it just keeps me in blue, so I'm very open if I draw like, or not draw, but open a bomb rare, I can just switch to those colors. And yeah, like where I'm at, but I would, okay, wow. So there's a Countervailing Winds Inferno Jet, which is actually, that's a pretty late Inferno Jet. And then a Survivor's Encampment. Inferno Jet would go quite well in this type of deck. Is that better than just taking a Countervailing Winds? I think so. It's also a late Unconventional Tactics. I could be some weird blue-white zombies deck with double Spellweaver. But I think Inferno Jet's actually pretty good in blue-red spells. Just 6 damage to the face in combination with all these like afflict creatures is really hard to deal with. And if you can find like a Bloodwater entity to like put this back on top, you can really hit your opponent for a lot of damage. Okay, so not too much interesting in this pack. I think probably gonna take Claim to Fame over Seer and Marauding Boneslasher. I don't really like Seer the Last Tomorrow. Not really gonna be milling him out. But maybe Claim to Fame has some use with all these Spellweaver Eternals. You never know. I think I just take another strategic planning. I think I have a lot of card filtering though. But if I get enough prowess creatures, I mean, it'll be good enough. Countervailing Winds, I think I'm prioritizing a little bit higher now. If you can go turn 2 strategic planning, then that counterspell is almost just a hard counter for the rest of the game. But usually that goes quite late. Seeing these go quite late makes me pretty happy too. It is just a decent card. But right now this deck is, it's like got the skeleton, but it doesn't have any like meat to it. Like nothing in this deck does very much. Here, maybe I'll take the Boneslasher. I think it's the card I'm most likely to play. Say if I open like one of the gods, those are in Grixis colors. So maybe I want to splash him in this, I don't know. But we're still quite open. I know we have this Inferno Jet. I'm going to take Crash Through. I don't think Imaginary Thrust is very good. This gives us 1-drops if we open, what is that, Impending Doom? Or whatever that rare is. Because I would definitely play it in this type of deck. I think we can probably pick up enough 1-drops to make that work. And, I don't know. It's another spell to go with our, right now, blue-red spells themed deck. Someone's taking our counter spells. So we know at least one other person's in blue. But they're probably like all the way around the way. I should have taken Full Art Swamp. That was pretty. That was a beautiful swamp. Yep, well we got a mountain. Okay, pack 2, let's open the Locust God. That'd be nice. It'd be so good with Tragic Lesson. Okay, we did not. We opened Desert's Hold, which is pretty good. No good red cards. Another Spellweaver Eternal. which we have enough spells that this might actually be the pick. A River Hoopu, which also is definitely a good option. And then some deserts. So I think for me it's between River Hoopu and another Spellweaver. And it's actually kind of tough because this card is great. I don't think it's possible to have too many. Even like, let's say you have like 4 in play, that's 8 damage to your opponent at the minimum. But the Hoopu can just take over games. And we did not see much green pack 1, which means we can cut it pretty hard pack 2. So this is like an all-star if we end up blue-green, and this is just going to be medium in any deck we play. And I think given that we're likely to find enough playables, I'm just going to take the Hoopu. Okay, so now we have a choice between Unsummon, Magmaroth, a Desert, and then I guess like these 2 green cards. Sunscourge Champion is good, but I think it doesn't really fit in the type of deck we're setting up right now. So Magmaroth is excellent with all of these cards we have so far. Very unlikely to ever, lose counters. Unsummon is pretty good if we're trying to play like a tempo game, play a lot of spells. Get in a lot with the Spellweaver Eternals. But I think Unsummon goes a bit later. But I might still take it. I mean, it is the only blue card we could take. And Magmaroth, although excellent, we're not sure if we're red. We do have an Inferno Jet. But I think this just keeps us open for as long as we can possibly be. Until we see a reason. I don't think Magmaroth is good enough reason to go into red, and Unsummon's quite good. Missing out on a Desert. But I think we can pick those up a bit later. Okay. Yeah, these are great cards. Burning Fist Minotaur is kind of an all-star. Just 2/1 first strike, and then you can discard cards to just kill your opponent outright. Probably is the pick here, although Inferno Jet is excellent. And I could just be playing like 3-color Inferno Jet, get in some early damage, stall a bit with River Hoopu, and then burn you out in the late game. Maybe this is better off of a splash. I know the Minotaur is very, very good. But he does require a decent amount of red. We're going to try and draft a new type of deck. I'm going to take the Inferno Jet and see if we can... I was just going to say, see if we can go deep. This might be going deep. We have Tragic Lesson, Unquenchable Thirst, or Strategic Planning, Unsummon. This might be the Swarm Intelligence deck. The question is, will it wheel? Will this card wheel? That's a really tough question. Because we can take Magmaroth instead. And that'd be pretty good. Or like an Unsummon. But we're going to draft something sweet. I want to try and make this card work. And with Inferno Jet, I think we have a chance of getting there. Now we can take... Refuse to Cooperate can actually do a ton of damage with Swarm Intelligence. But I think we need a counterspell just to make sure we stay alive until the late game. Is that better? Maybe we need a Manalith to make this Hoopu work. But I guess if we just have enough card draw, we can just get up to the Manalith. Huh. Yeah, Countervailing Winds or Tragic Lesson. I think I just need at least one counterspell. Obelisk Spider's good, not in our colors. Probably just a Proven Combatant. Really unexciting pickup. But I don't think we need another Strategic Planning. That's quite a few, and this card can be good. Okay, whoa. Number of non-land cards with converted mana cost 5 or less. That seems not great. We could take another Inferno Jet and just have a ton of burn. Or another counter spell. This is actually kind of tough. If we can get up to 6 mana, we can just straight up burn our opponent out. But I think we need enough ways to get there. I think 2 should be enough to kill them with Storm Intelligence. We just need enough ways to survive until we can get that far. Blur of Blades, definitely will play this. Okay, these deserts are excellent. I think I want to take just another blue desert, because we're mostly blue based. And it's hard to, like, if you pick up your splash color and you want to cycle it, but you can't, it's kind of annoying. Crash Through could be good, but desert helps us from flooding. Okay, Magmaroth going around is very good. That means the other one's likely to wheel, I hope. Probably will play this Crash Through. With Swarm Intelligence, it's just red, draw 2. With a very slight upside. We really need to find some more removal. So like, Magma Spray would be awesome in this deck. I might play a Granitic Titan. I hope not to, though. We have 18 playables, and most of these cards are quite good. River Hoopoe might not make the cut, but it's so good. But I don't know if we can really afford to splash this card, but it depends on how like slow our opponent's deck is. Okay, Cunning Survivor, whenever you cycle or discard. Is that better than just a Gilded Ceradon? I think the Ceradon's fine. We have deserts. It will be able to tap down our opponent's creatures. And we do want to be getting in with these Spellweavers, so that kind of helps that plan. So yeah, I guess I'd prefer not to play the Proven Combatant. Maybe prefer not to play Crash Through, but I mean, it's not the worst. Actually, it's alright. It helps us play Countervailing Winds. I might actually play this card. We're just like a straight up burn deck. And like doubling this can just do like 8 to our opponent's face. Sure, we'll take our 3rd claim to fame. I'm not sold on this card, but it might be good. If we can just get some Drakes, some Magma Sprays in this next pack. I might even play Floodwaters. Copying that card is busted. Board Wipe would be really good. Is that foil? No, it's just a very pretty island. Okay, here we have Blazing Volley, likely to wheel. Cancel is just a hard counter, and just a Tarkrop Skirmisher to keep us alive. Probably Tarkrop Skirmisher is okay. Blocks a lot of, like, an early 2-drop's pretty annoying for this deck, and this can block most of them. Don't really care too much about Cancel. I have 2 counter spells, and Blazing Volley is likely to come around. We're not in the colors for Prepare to Fight, or Spring to Mine or Gift of Paradise, although I would like to play those cards. I think this is like the least exciting first pick we could have, but the second pick is not bad. So Lay Claim is an all-star, just 7 mana, kind of win the game. Winds of Rebuke, also quite good in the blue-red spells type deck. Illumination's good. Nimbleblade Kenra actually would be very good in this deck, but it's likely to come around. So I think here I need to decide between Lay Claim and Illumination or Winds of Rebuke. And I think Illumination's probably just the pick. I don't know, Lake Claim, it's not a spell, but it's just a great card. 7 mana, win the game. But we're trying something new. We're trying to make the Swarm Intelligence work, so Hieroglyphic Illumination, sweet to copy it. Just a good card. Oh, this pack is horrible for us. We have like a Painted Bluffs or like a Manticore, but I really don't want to play that. I think we're just taking Painted Bluffs. Maybe it helps us play the River Hoopoe. Ooh. Bounty of the Luxa. I don't think we're missing much by taking this. I guess blue cartouche we're missing. But we only have 6 creatures. And if we play blue or green, we have a lot of card draw. This can ramp us into Swarm Intelligence and Inferno Jet our opponent out. I'm gonna try this out. Okay. Huh. Why do I always see 2 of these? Is that better than just Aven Initiate? It's sweet. This deck is I'm gonna mill myself. But what a good way to go. Oh man. This is gonna be a very interesting draft, to say the least. I guess I'll take Manticore now. I don't think this is a Bloodlust Insider deck, and cancel is okay. Maybe we do want to cancel. This deck is so insane. Spellweaver Eternal, Crash Through Unsummon. Do we need another counter spell? No, I think Manticore is probably more important. We also saw a cancel in one of the earlier packs. That's likely to still be there. So I guess I'm kind of glad I got this Painted Bluffs now. It helps me play green. And our red is actually a pretty easy splash as well. Now we can take Evolving Wilds to help us cast our green cards. Is that better than a giant spider? I think so. I think I saw some bigger creatures going around, and this helps us play green. This deck is so weird. I really wish I had seen any of the payoff cards for blue-red spells. Because like we were so close in pack 2. Swarm Intelligence, double Inferno Jet. I kind of regret not taking the 3rd, but we have the capability to do 24 damage to our opponent's face with this deck. Okay. As weird as it is, I think Nimbleblade Kenra is the pick. This card actually will be quite good in this deck. It'll just be a 2/4 or bigger. We can just hold up spells, and Reduce to Rubble is not great. But this is going to help us stay alive, for sure. So we do have a lot of early interaction. I actually kind of like this deck. Bounty can ramp us up to Swarm Intelligence, and then Inferno Jet. Gilded Ceradon with 3 deserts means we can attack pretty well. I don't think we're going to play this. So we have 25 playables. We can maybe cut Proven Combatant. Oh, okay. Spring to Mind actually might be decent. Search for a land and we can draw 2. Is that better than just a sideboard Blazing Volley? I think this can be good. Wow. I think, as weird as it is, I think we just want the Kenra. We have so many non-creature spells, and we just, if we survive, we can do such crazy stuff. And yeah, that's so weird, but I think we want this instead. So I think I might actually be able to cut this top crop. Maybe I don't even want the Manticore. That's 24 with 16 lands. Double strategic planning. That's so late Honored Crop Captain. I think I'm just going to take Gift of Paradise. Probably not playing it, but it's a cool card. Agmaroth, Inferno Jet. I think the only thing I'm worried about is decking myself. So maybe I don't play both strategic plannings. Ancient Crab, definitely a consideration in some matchups. 1/5 is so hard to get through. But I think we have enough like high toughness creatures right now that we're not too worried. So right now we have 27 playables. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I might actually play this. We have 9 spells that go with Swarm Intelligence. Cancel. That's pretty good too. I think I'm going to start with that in the sideboard, but if my opponent's deck is slow, I'll play it. Okay, so lands go over here. Group creatures separate. So this is up here as well as a 7. This is a 3. These are not spells. These are not spells. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess 8, because counterspells, if you copy them, aren't that great. But that seems like enough for Swarm Intelligence to be at least playable. I wish I had gotten like one more unsummon effect though, or Floodwaters would have been sweet, but just Swarm Intelligence Inferno Jet's quite good. Is that like a win more thing though? Like, we could just do something like this and then play, I don't know, Manticore? Like, is this deck better? Got a lot of counter spells. I guess I could maybe cut Spring to Mind for another counter spell. I want to see if this card is good, and if it's good in any deck, it's good in the double Inferno Jet deck. Maybe I do want Refuse to Cooperate. With Spellweaver Eternals, maybe not. Lord of Blades. This feels win more-ish. But it's so good. I'm playing it. I have to. I need to live the dream of Inferno Jet Swarm Intelligence. Okay, so we have 3 green spells. I guess I think I need to cut one more card, right? Yeah. Flooding is not really going to happen with this deck. Okay, last card to cut. I think I'm just going to cut the Manticore. Maximize spells. Gilded Ceradon, pretty good with like Unsummon or something. So sort by color. 4 green spells and we have 2 green sources. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 blue. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red, so what does this look like? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 green for 1, 2, 3, 4 green spells. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red. Although most of our red spells are like just the Kenras. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blue. So I think we can cut a blue for another forest. Because we really want to play Bounty on time. And I think that's the deck. See you guys round 1.